I'm not exactly sure how Jas was getting so many more attempts than everyone else. He must have been moving around like a crackhead. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I still wanted to get my review of the latest Amazing Race episode as another CBS reality show limps to the finish line. Not my favorite episode of the season, as we had to watch Jag and Jas dominate. And I think that was a foregone conclusion after last week, with Tucker and Eric being eliminated, the only team that could truly keep up with Jag and Jas, as we saw in this entire episode. We might as well start with them, even though they just dominated. I mean, I would say that the flower challenge was one of the first times all season I can recall that team struggling, and yet they still finished it first. And I'm not exactly sure how Jas was getting so many more attempts than everyone else. He must have been moving around like a crackhead, because compared to everyone else, three of the teams got there basically around the same time. Jag and Jess, Joseph and Adam, and Izzy and Paige. Now, we did have Adam have his health issues again, and so that pretty much set him back. But maybe, I guess, Izzy couldn't move as fast as Jas was moving to keep doing so many different attempts. But after the flower competition, it was kind of they were way ahead of everyone else after that. They finished that so quick, despite Jas taking 12 attempts to finish that. And then they moved right on to the medieval building. You got to build the building, and then you got to do the joust thing and get 4 rings. Jag did that pretty easily. Then they built the bridge very easily. Seemed like smooth sailing with building the bridge, and that was it. And it was an easy first place for Jag and Jess, which I think is what the rest of the show is going to be. And I'm only watching because I already gave up on Survivor, but I really do feel like all the CBS reality shows are a tough watch these days. At least Big Brother has a live feeds, which is what makes that show so easy to talk about and so easy to pick apart, because you at least have the live feeds. But the episodes to Big Brother are terrible too. The TV episodes for these CBS reality shows, not great. So with Jag and Jas dominating, I'm trying to find the other positives throughout the race. And of course, the big positive is Izzy and Paige, who finished their best finish this entire season in second place. Of course, it would be a great story for such huge underdogs like Izzy and Paige to be able to win this whole thing. I would love that. I just don't see it happening. Despite Izzy and Paige getting second place and them doing their best, they were still way behind first place against Jag and Jess, which I think even Izzy was frustrated about in this episode. And I've seen a couple of people, I think they're more so Amazing Race fans than Big Brother fans, saying that Izzy's just obsessed with Jag. Izzy has every reason to be frustrated with Jag's initial win on Big Brother, that he didn't deserve whatsoever. Plus, they are dominating this race, so of course that would be frustrating that they are in first place. The best thing I could say for Izzy and Paige is what I've been saying for weeks now. They make such a great couple. They are communication goals for a couple. The way they communicate is grade A, top notch. Asking what they want, what kind of communication style they want for this round to not annoy the other person is so good. So I'm glad they get to share themselves as a couple this season, because they really are couple goals, especially when it comes to communication. They finished the flowers in second place. Then they did the building pretty quick. Paige did the building well. She struggled on the first attempt with the jousting, but they were pretty far ahead of everyone else that was not Jag and Jess by that point. And then building the bridge was also once again showing their great communication. So a great episode for Izzy and Paige. Definitely the positive coming out of this episode. Third place was Joseph and Adam, and like I talked about earlier, Adam's problems with his health definitely put him behind on the flowers, and maybe that's why he couldn't run around like a crackhead like Jas was doing and maybe finish faster. The heat was getting to him, and he's had his struggle with diabetes this entire season. It's getting a little old for me. You know, when it comes to these reality shows, maybe I have a colder heart, but I was annoyed when Adam struggled with the flowers and then Joseph made him do the building and the jousting too. I got the reason why. It was kind of a cool thing by Joseph, I guess, to make his brother see that he can do these things despite his diabetes. And I get that completely. I get the point. But it still seemed a little cruel to make your brother do the second challenge as well when you just watched him struggle with big health issues during that first challenge. Like, he had to keep getting medical help during that first challenge, and then you make him do the second challenge too in the same heat. It seemed a bit weird, but I do get the sentiment, but I don't know if that was the best decision for the actual race. But Joseph has not been trying to win this race the entire time. It's been my biggest problem with him the entire time. Even the drama video I made last week where Taylor was upset with Joseph and Adam on a live talking about the season, I still say Joseph and Adam are the most frustrating part of the season other than Jag and Jas dominating. But Joseph and Adam have been helping Jag and Jas this entire time. And then suddenly in this episode at the beginning, they're like, maybe we should break free of Jag and Jas and actually learn how to navigate better themselves. And it's like, yeah, with the race almost over, that probably is a good idea to learn how to navigate better yourselves and not rely on Jag and Jas. It did seem that they did do better navigating on their own in this episode, though. But do I think they're going to beat Jag and Jas? No. And do I think they deserve to win if they beat Jag and Jas? No, because they're the Jag and Jas of this season. They got the free pass on a round where they should have been eliminated and weren't. And now we have to watch Adam be tortured in some of these challenges. But Adam did good. Props to Adam despite the health issues for doing both of the first two challenges by himself in this episode and still getting the team to a third place finish. In fourth place was Taylor and Kyland. They were close to losing this round. It's kind of been a theme for them these last couple of episodes. They started the round bad because they were the only team not on the first flight to Italy, so they were on a flight 45 minutes behind. Kyland did the flowers because he says he's the more patient one between him and Taylor, and that's probably right. And Kyland finished the flower competition in the least amount of attempts. It took him 2 attempts, so he did great. He did great during that challenge. Despite them actually being last in that challenge, they were only last because they started 45 minutes behind. And then Taylor did the building and the jousting. Taylor's another positive in this episode. I could watch Taylor build a building every episode. I think I would like that. Let me stop. But she did good. Even when Chelsie arrived, because Jack and Chelsie, we'll get to them, I guess, but no surprise they kept getting lost. It's been their theme the entire season is they do not do well with directions. And I hope that is something they work on in real life, because if they're ever traveling somewhere a little more dangerous, it could be bad to get as lost as they get lost when they are traveling together. They do not relay directions well and get around these cities well at all. But Chelsie did arrive when Taylor was still trying to build the building during the medieval thing, and she was struggling. And Chelsie was building very, very quickly. We might as well talk about Chelsie and Jack a little more. They were trying to work smarter this round, but like I said, as soon as they landed in Italy, they were already having trouble finding the first roadblock. And then it seemed like the directions to the second challenge were already very hard, because we saw Jag and Jess taking a list of the directions, and it seemed like a very long list. So it's not surprising that Chelsie and Jack got lost to find the medieval challenge, which is why they arrived there last. But Taylor kicked it into high gear when Chelsie started building very quickly. Taylor got the hang of it and finished before her, and did the jousting before her, even though she struggled on her first attempt. But Chelsie did good at the jousting too. I think she struggled on her first attempt too, but got it on her second, which led to them building the bridge at the same time. At one point, Chelsie and Jack's bridge completely fell apart, which I think was the nail in the coffin for their team. And it helped Taylor and Kyland finish building the bridge first, and finishing 4th place to start next week's episode. And Jack and Chelsie are eliminated. And that's the way it be when you can't find where you're going. So, didn't love the episode overall, because I feel like we have a foregone conclusion to who is going to win this season. But I am trying to enjoy some of the other little things going on. Izzy and Paige have been great this season. Glad they were added to the cast. The rest of the cast as a whole, not my favorites. I would like to watch Chelsie again. Out of most of these cast members that are not Izzy, Chelsie is someone I would like to see again on a show that has more strategies. She's great at strategy-based games. I don't know if Amazing Race was for her, but she's a great Big Brother winner, and I would watch her again on a different show with strategy. But yeah, her and her father, they had a good relationship. They had some struggles along the way, but it all came down to being frustrated over directions, unfortunately.